Hello everybody, Terry Carl Joyidian here, and I'm back with Chapter 4 of Divine Guidance by Doreen Virtue. Chapter 4 is Divine Guidance and Your Higher Self. A very short chapter, so it's going to be nice and concise today. What I particularly enjoyed from this chapter is the definitions Doreen gave and also the charts. I've become a big fan of charts just for the visual, simple representation they can give us. So I want to start with sharing Doreen's version or definition of what divine guidance is. She says divine guidance comes from God and the creations, including the higher selves of you. It can also include the ascended masters and your deceased loved ones. So there are many different sources of divine guidance. And when she's talking about higher self, she says she's referring to that part of yourself that remains exactly as God, as Source created you. It has that clear connection with love. Here are some characteristics of your higher self versus your lower self. She says your higher self is, as we mentioned, your true pure self, whereas your lower self is the self that was created on this plane that's a motivating factor, but is also often connected to fear, a feeling of security, of safety. So I'm going to give the higher self version and then the lower self version as she does in her chart. Higher self loving, lower self jealous, confident and secure, fulfilled, feeling lack, urges to fulfill divine purpose, wanting to delay life purpose, interested in win-win, believing in win-lose, competitive, secure in relationships, fears abandonment, clear conscience, feeling guilty, guided by love, scheming and manipulating, focus on the present, focus on the future, consistent, impulsive and inconsistent, feeling warm and protected, makes you feel cold and prickly, positive voice even when warning you of danger, abusive and demanding voice, generous, greedy, sure-footed, clumsy. And Doreen does say that good can come from anything, even listening to our lower self guidance, because we can learn from those experiences and also begin to differentiate between the two. We learn and grow either way. Let's see. Here are some key characteristics of divinely inspired guidance. The advice is repetitive. For me, I'll often notice things in threes. I'll see something once, we're seeing tons of things once. We get tons of things coming into our field. Second time, gonna spark something, but it's okay, it's the second time, could be coincidence. Third time really gets my attention. And I think I've read things or see reports that have suggested that repetitive third time is a signal. Let's see, aroused feelings of joy. So if you have that high vibration of love or joy, that's a good sign. Allows you to serve others. Probably can feel that in your heart center too. Allows you to use your natural interests. It gives you a sense of empowerment. Those are all of them. She says you can liken this to driving on a big new interstate highway. Love that. Life is a highway. Let's see. And then I wanted to end with her last chart on the last page of this chapter, where she goes deeper into true divine guidance and lower self or false guidance with some examples. You may hear, turn left on this road now from your divine guidance, but your false guidance will kick in and say, what a silly thought, that road is out of my way. Go over and talk to that person. That person probably won't like me. We've all had that voice in the back of our head, right? It was like, leave a nice tip for the hotel maid. Why should I pay the maid? I'll never see her again. Begin writing a book. What would I write about? Who would publish me? You are a healer. Only special people are healers. I'm not that gifted. You have so much to give the world. Maybe I can become rich and famous someday. Volunteer at that children's center. I don't have time. Spend some time in nature this morning. I'll go for a walk tomorrow. Call Donald Smith today. Why bother? He probably won't remember me. Everything is going to work out great. What if it doesn't? Can you relate? Do you have any examples of times where you've been able to distinguish between divine guidance and ego guidance, lower self guidance? Have you had any really cool stories where you got guidance 3 times and you followed it, or you didn't follow it, and what you learned from it? Would love to hear about any of that. It's good to be back. We'll continue with chapter 5 for the next one, which is more about how to tell true from false guidance. It's quite a long section. And then after that, we'll be getting into how to clear your divine communication channels, all from the book Divine Guidance by Doreen Virtue. Thank you for joining me today. Much love and many blessings to you all. Bye now.